Welcome to the National Virtue Signaling Championships 2020. Oh, sorry, no, I meant the Democratic debate in Charleston.
Wait, you're getting nervous, man.
I don't know what it is exactly, but it's like every time I hear a left-wing politician speak, I have Michael Jackson's What About Us and him falling to his knees with, like, poor people and elephants. That is in the back of my mind more than anything else lately. So basically all you need to know about this video before you watch it is that it's the final question on the debate. Each candidate is just asked to give to explain what a common misconception is of theirs and why it's a misconception, why the people are wrong to think that about them. Because actually me defining misconception is probably quite important to this video, because the Democratic Party candidates don't seem to understand the word misconception. And then they had to give their motto, which, you know, they really struggled with as well. There's some great virtue signaling though. That's, you know, it is gold.
First, I'd like you each to tell us the biggest misconception about you. That's number one. Number two, the South Carolina motto is this: while I breathe, I hope. So outside of
Good
politics,
motto.
and no more than 45 seconds or so, what is your personal motto, your personal belief, your favorite quote that represents you? Mr. Steyer, the biggest misconception, and then your motto.
The biggest misconception about me is that somehow I'm defined by business success and money.
Okay, and your motto?
My motto: every day I write a cross on my hand to remind myself to tell the truth and do what's right, no matter what.
All right, thank you, Mr. Steyer. Senator Klobuchar?
What's your motto? I write a cross on my hand every morning to remind myself to tell the truth. Thank you, Mr. Steyer. Look at his little face.
All right, thank you, Mr. Steyer. Senator Klobuchar?
He's telling you something, he's giving you a bit of background. I think his motto was going to be something like, tell the truth, probably.
I'd say the biggest misconception is that I'm boring, because I'm not. Then I would say that my motto...
Bear in mind here, she said that the biggest misconception, this Klobuchar, or whatever her name is that she's boring. And she proceeds to show us how she is definitely not boring in any way. And she's not boring. Remember, she's not boring.
Is the words of one of my political mentors, Paul Wellstone, who's sadly no longer with us. And he said that politics is about improving people's lives. And that's been my life. From when my grandpa was an iron ore miner and the unions, politics made those mines safer. And when my dad needed treatment, it was there for him. And in his words, he was pursued by grace. And when my mom got divorced and she didn't have a job and she went back to teaching, and that gift of public service got her through. And then when our daughter was born,
Senator
and
Klobuchar,
she couldn't
what was your
swallow,
motto?
that
I'm
was
sorry.
my life.
Senator Klobuchar,
Oh, I
what
thought
was
we
your
had a
motto?
minute to answer the question.
No, what was your motto? I'm sorry.
My motto was that politics is about improving people's lives.
Got it.
Jesus Christ. See, this is a problem with democracy, I think. It inevitably just attracts narcissists. They're asked to say, what is the biggest misconception about you? You'll see that most of them don't understand the word misconception, or it seems like that. And one of the big things about people with narcissistic traits is that they don't know how other people perceive them, therefore they cannot comment on the misconceptions about them. And you'll see it's just unbelievable. She was fairly self-aware that she realizes people think she's boring, and then really wanted to prove how she wasn't boring and started saying, my grandfather, he worked in the mines, and my father was ill, and my mother, well, there was this one time my mother went out. We'll just, let's carry on.
Good one.
It was a very good one.
Thank
Very
you.
good one.
Thank you.
When you get knocked down, get up, and everyone's entitled to be treated with dignity, no matter what, no matter who they are. Also, that everyone should be represented. No one's better than me, and I'm no better than anyone else. The fact is, what we should be doing, we talked about the Supreme Court. I'm looking forward to making sure there's a black woman on the Supreme Court to make sure we, in fact, get every representation. Not a joke. Not a joke. I pushed very hard for that. And
Vice
my
President?
mother's motto was,
What's the motto? What is the motto? Get down. When you're knocked down, get up. No one's better than me. I'm better than no one. No one's better than me. And I'm not better than anyone. And then I think everyone needs to be treated equally. And I'm going to make a black woman Supreme Court judge. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Maybe he thought when everyone was cheering in the crowd, they were laughing. A black woman in the Supreme Court. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Stop laughing.
Not a joke.
Not a joke.
Not a joke. I pushed very hard for that. And
Vice
my
President?
mother's motto was, she said, you know, you're defined by your courage, you're redeemed by your loyalty. I am loyal, I do what I say.
What's the biggest
What the hell is he talking about?
What's the biggest misconception about you, sir?
I have more hair than I think I do.
I have more hair than I think I do. What? Why? I mean, maybe I'm missing something there.
There's a way to fix that, Senator Sanders.
Misconception.
Yes.
Misconception, and you're hearing it here tonight, is that the ideas I'm talking about are radical. They're not. In one form or another, they exist in countries all over the world.
In one form or another. In one form or another.
Care is a human right. We have the necessity, the moral imperative to...
Can I just stop and say something serious here? Is healthcare a human right? Because, like, as I understand it, when something is a human right, it means that it has to be provided for you. Or you have to have access to it. And if not, someone else is doing something evil to you by depriving you of it. So I just want to get this straight. Imagine there's a situation where you cannot in any way give something in return for the healthcare that you're receiving. So imagine there just, for whatever million reasons, there just isn't enough money to pay the doctors in public hospitals. Because it's a human right, you're saying that they have to work for free. Like, if you... Like, I mean, I don't want to get all serious because this is a hilarious video. but, you know, is it a human right? Can we enslave doctors and teachers? Maybe.
Address the existential threat of climate change. Other countries are doing that. We don't need more people in jail, disproportionately African American, than any other country on earth. Not a radical.
Nobody's saying that's radical. Who are the people? Who are the people who are saying we do need disproportionately black people in jail? It's like, who's saying that? He's radical. He's radical. He doesn't think we need disproportionate amounts of black people in jail.
Idea. The motto, the saying that moves me the most is from Nelson Mandela. And Mandela said, everything is impossible until it happens.
Nelson Mandela, a great leader, who they locked up just because he was black.
We have the guts to stand up to powerful special interests who are doing phenomenally well. If we can bring working people together, black and white and Latino, we can create a nation.
All right, Senator.
Where all people have a good standard of living.
Senator Warren.
Yeah, we'll move on. No matter, no misconception. Good.
Well, I suppose one misconception is that I don't eat very much. In fact, I eat all the time.
We are merely exchanging long protein strings.
In fact, I eat all the time, almost every day. I consume calories. Okay, so the misconception is that she doesn't eat. Apparently she eats all the time, like other humans.
About this. Look, I never was supposed to be on a stage like this. And the misconception is that I thought I should be president of the United States. No, I got into this because I am a fighter. My motto ties in directly. Matthew 25. And that is, inasmuch as ye hath done it unto one of these, the least of thy brethren, ye hath done it unto me. For me, this is...
What the fuck was that? Okay, so let's try to break it down. Inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, ye have done it unto me. And she says that's about how we treat other people and lift them up. Okay, let's break that down. As much as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. Okay, so right, if you hurt somebody else, you're hurting me, I guess is what she means. But, oh, come on. That's like the snobbiest thing ever. As if anyone fucking understood that. She may have a God complex. She may be God. I mean, she's certainly not human.
How we treat other people and how we lift them up. That is why I am in this fight. That is why I am running to be president. And it is why I will be an effective president.
Thank you, Senator.
No, you won't, and you're not going to be.
Mayor Buttigieg.
Well, I think the biggest misconception is that I'm not passionate. I get that I'm kind of level. Some say unflappable. I don't think you want a president who's flappable. But it's precisely because I'm so passionate about the things that are going on in this country that I consider it important to approach all of that with discipline. And my disciplines are guided by the mottos I try to live by, many of which come from Scripture. And just to be clear, I would never impose my interpretation of my religion on anybody.
Abortions for all. Very well. No abortions for anyone. Abortions for some, miniature American flags for others.
Just as sure as I'm wearing this ring, I'll never let that happen to anybody. But I seek to live by the teachings that say that if you would be a leader, you must first be a servant. And of course, the teaching, not unique to the Christian tradition, but a big part of it, that holds that we are to treat others as we would be treated. And when I think...
Can you say any sentence without just having to explain it? It's like a lot of my beliefs come from Scripture, but I would not want to impose my beliefs on anybody else. And it's from the Christian tradition. Not that it has to be from the Christian tradition. Shut the fuck up! Just say what your motto is, you boring twat.
About everything at stake, from racial and economic justice to our stewardship of the climate to the need to heal the sick and the need to heal this country. I seek for those teachings to order my steps as I go through this campaign and as I go through life.
Thank you. Mayor Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Misconception that I'm 6 feet tall.
Does he not look like... what are those two aliens from The Simpsons called? When they became the presidential candidates. Kind of got that same dead, fish-eyed look in it. Yeah, anyway. Misconception that you're 6 feet tall.
And quote, I've trained for this job for a long time, and when I get it, I'm going to do something rather than just talk about it.
Fooling these Earth voters is easier than expected.
Yes, all they want to hear are bland pleasantries embellished by an occasional saxophone solo or infant kiss.